Hi guys, this is Sylheti here with another update on my previous videos that I've made. So this one's only gonna make sense if you watch my previous video, which I've made on 3 best oil stock. Now this video is just a recap and an update from the previous one. So a lot of the stuff, if you're watching for the first time, won't make sense. To make sense, watch that previous video. Now let's get started. Now at Tullow, they have a drill going on right now in Suriname, in the Guyana South America block, or block 47 I believe, and they have a 50% share in that. Now they're drilling right now. The results are going to be out hopefully beginning of May or end of April, around that time. And they're also waiting for the East Gabon asset sale, which they're going to generate something like $180 million. Now their net debt is $2.4 billion. Once the financial and everything gets restructured with their lenders, I expect the share price to do well. Now having said that, they've been promoted to FTSE 250, which is a very positive news for Tullow, and in response the MCAP actually went up, well, over $700 million. So let's do a quick recap of say 1 month to give you an idea how well the share price did. Okay, there you go. So when I made the first video, it was more like 20-25 pence. So as you can see, it's a nice steady rise. Then we had that pullback from 60 to 50, just under 52 today. I'll explain that later on in the video. So the ticker symbol for that is TLW. So those of you who missed the boat and want to get in, this looks like a opportunity to get in because of that pullback. And with all those institutions that's going to be buying, they'll have an eye on Tullow now because they've been promoted to FTSE 250. This in the long run I think is going to do extremely well, assuming if the oil price stays high. Now again, this is a great company. I recommend this as a long term. Short term, so many things can happen. Now yeah, it's not much to go through, so let's move on to the next one, which is Enquest. Now again, with this one is up, well, over 5% today. Ticker symbol ENQ. So let's look at the 1 month chart, 6 month. There you go. So when I made the video, it was more like 12 pence. As you can see, that nice steady rise. Then we had the sharp pullback. Now again, to me that looks like a good entry point. Those of you who missed say 12-13 pence margin, or not margin, sorry, level. If you missed the 12-13 pence level, it went up as high as 25. Now we had that pullback. So right now, again, those of you who wants to get in, would be an ideal entry point. Now with this one, they have a merger, or they're going to buy out Suncor's field in the North Sea, which is called a Golden Eagle asset. So once they make that purchase, they will add 10,000 barrels of oil per day on their balance sheet. So again, in long run, I think it's great. Again, everything based on the oil price. So it's a very strong oil company in my opinion, because they survived the low oil price and they're still here today. So I think they've managed to survive the worst. And right now it looks like they're gonna do well. And especially the CEO and his family owns a ton of share in Enquest. So that's one of my biggest reasons why I think they would never let Enquest fail, especially with that kind of ownership in a company. Okay, so those of you that's interested, the ticker symbol is ENQ. Let's move on to Premier Oil. Now with Premier, they are merging with Chrysaor, and their ticker symbol, the company name is going to be Harbour Energy, and the Scottish court approved the merger, so everything is set to go. So on the 1st of April, Premier Oil is going to trade under Harbour Energy. The ticker symbol is going to be HBR. So those of you who have a regular investment set up with your broker, you may need to change your company name or the ticker symbol to HBR. Just bear that in mind. So again, it's gone up over 4% today. So if you take a look at the last 6 months, again, nice steady upward momentum. Great company. Obviously they had a lot of debt, and they just couldn't afford to pay it back. So now they're merging with Chrysaor, and they would pay, or Harbour Energy will pay the creditors of Premier Oil's creditors over $1 billion, I think, or pound. And yeah, so the new company is going to be much stronger, more financially stable, and they will give dividend. They put that out in the investors presentation. They will give dividend. And one more thing, the conversion. So if you own one Premier Oil share, you will get one Harbour Energy share. So the conversion is basically 1-to-1. So in other words, whatever you own, only thing that's going to change is the company name to Harbour Energy. Now I'm going to add in another company, which is Rockhopper, which is related to Premier Oil. Now again, Rockhopper actually has gone up quite a bit. So if you look at the last 6 months, they actually gone up from 5 pence to over, well, now 11 pence. So nearly doubled. Reason being, there is a strong possibility, or there is a hope amongst the investors, that Harbour Energy will develop the Sea Line project. So Rockhopper has 30% interest, I think, and they gave away 60% or 50% to Premier Oil. So if you look at the history, Premier Oil bought into Rockhopper's asset in Sea Line in Falkland Island. So because they couldn't afford it, Premier couldn't afford it, now it's getting transferred to Harbour Energy, and on their statement they said a Sea Line is one of the main assets that they're going to look into. Now that's raising some hope that Harbour Energy will, or hope, or might develop the Sea Line. If they do that, and the projection is something like 80,000 barrels to about 100,000 barrels of oil per day, and Rockhopper owns 30% of that. Right now they're not making any revenue, they're not producing any barrels. Now imagine they get 30,000 barrels per day. I mean, that's literally money machine, if you ask me. And they have roughly $12-13 million cash in hand, and they have no debt. So they're stable for another 1 or 2 years, I think, in my opinion. But in the long run, if they do go ahead, this will easily 10x, 20x, 30x. That used to be over £4.50 at one point. There you go. In 2010, 2011, it was nearly £4.50, 60 pence. So you do the calculation. If that project gets the go ahead, they will do extremely well, in my opinion. Now what else? Yeah, one more thing. The Sea Line project now has 3 partners. So you got Rockhopper, which they don't have to pay a penny until first oil. That was the agreement. And Harbour Energy hopefully gonna follow that rule, where they won't have to pay a penny until first oil. So it's literally free carry to first oil. Now they have Navitas as another partner. So 3 partners, well, 2 partners with a little bit of financial muscle. I think actually they can take this project to final investment decision. The total cost is roughly between 1.5 to about 1.8 billion dollars. That's the cost from final investment decision till first oil, and I think that's doable. I don't believe the UK export finance will finance this, because they made it very clear the government is going towards green and renewable. Then I don't think they're going to fund the fossil fuel, so it's going to be done privately, and I think Harbour and Navitas might have the financial power to do it. So let's have a quick look at the oil price. And on the beginning of this video I did say I would explain why there was a pullback. Now if you've been listening to the news, our Prime Minister came up with something bizarre, which is we may have a third wave. Now that spooked the oil market, and the oil price dropped from like $71 to almost 61. Like that was a massive drop, as you can see from here. Let me give you a 1 hour chart. There you go. From just over 70 to just under 61. That was a massive drop. Then we had that massive spike, as you saw now. That's because there's a massive container that got stuck in the Suez Canal, and that spooked the oil market because it's been stuck there for about 2 days now, and they can't move it because it's so big and heavy. Now in that Suez Canal there's about 12% of the total crude oil that flows through there. Now because of that, the oil price jumped up about 5-6%. But again, that's temporary, I believe. The long term is what the politicians are saying. If we have that third wave, then the demand for oil would reduce, and the price of oil would go down, and the share price would go down. So if you believe in second chance or third chance, you got one now, you might have another one if we have that third wave. So that's it, guys. This was my update. I hope you enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of people have viewed my videos, which is great. Thank you very much. But please watch my previous video, which I'm going to link it on the end screen now, so that you understand what I'm saying here, because a lot of this is related to my previous video. So if you enjoyed this, guys, please leave a thumbs up for me. That helps a lot. And if you like my content, you want more of it, then please consider subscribing and click that the bell button. So until further news, guys, and I won't make this video any longer. It's over 13 minutes now. So I'll see you on the next video, guys. So thank you very much. This is Sylheti Money. Bye bye.